Okay, welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're diving straight into a seriously chilling case study. We are looking at an impossibly cheap apartment on the outskirts of Hyderabad that came with amazing rent and a terrifying, absolutely inescapable catch. If you appreciate a structured breakdown of a mystery, you are in the right place. Let's get right into it.
Now he is with me too. Imagine breaking down an apartment door and finding that scrawled in blood on a bathroom mirror. Well, that's exactly what the police found when they entered a missing tenant's apartment. It's a genuinely gruesome image. Today, we're going to backtrack and reconstruct exactly how we got to this grim conclusion, stepping through the timeline and the evidence piece by piece.
So, have you ever found an apartment that was just uncommonly cheap, only to figure out there was a massive catch later? For our main guy, a young man named Nickel, that catch didn't hide in the plumbing or the noisy neighbors. It hit him right on move-in day. It was a stormy night when he arrived, the rent was unbelievably low, and the catch came in the form of a highly specific, totally bizarre warning from the building's watchman.
The watchman looked him dead in the eye and gave a grave, hyper-specific instruction. He told him, absolutely do not look into the bathroom mirror after 2:13 a.m. Notice that specific time. It's not midnight, it's not 3 a.m., it's exactly 2:13. Now Nickel, operating from a place of complete rationality, just laughed it off. He assumed the guy had been watching way too many horror movies, but the watchman was dead serious, issuing a final, "I'm warning you."
Following the timeline of how this haunting actually builds, you see it escalate from a seemingly silly warning to an inescapable nightmare. For the first 2 days, everything was completely normal. Your rational brain feels totally validated here, finding nothing out of the ordinary. But then we hit night 3, and the structure of Nickel's reality just completely fractures.
The internal conflict on that third night is so stark. It's exactly 2:13 a.m., and Nickel wakes up feeling thirsty. The apartment is dead silent until he hears water dripping inside the bathroom. His logical brain immediately jumps to, okay, I probably forgot to close the tap. But when he opens the door, the dim light flickers and the mirror is covered in water drops. He closes the tap, turns around and literally freezes, because standing right behind him in the mirror is a girl in a white dress with long black hair completely covering her face. He whips around and nobody is there. Sweating bullets, his rational mind tries one last, desperate defense, writing it off as just sleepiness.
But come on, you can't just shake off an image like that. Desperate to regain some psychological control the following day, Nickel couldn't stop thinking about the mirror. So he takes physical action. He tapes a piece of paper directly over the glass with a massive, clear command written on it. Don't look. It was a physical barrier meant to stop himself from looking into the mirror again, basically a tangible way to assert dominance over his own environment and fears. But the motif of time is inescapable in this narrative. The very next night, at exactly 2:13 a.m., bang! A massive noise jolts him awake in sheer terror. His physical barrier meant absolutely nothing. He just lies there paralyzed, watching the bathroom door slowly, agonizingly creaking open entirely on its own. And remember, the source text notes there was no wind and no sound other than the slow creak of the door itself.
This is where things escalate from creepy to full-on terrifying. When Nickel slowly creeps closer to investigate, he sees that the paper he had taped up has been violently shredded from the inside. And right underneath that torn paper, these words slowly materialize in red. "Why are you looking at me?" The entity wasn't just present anymore, it was actively communicating and appearing much, much closer in the reflection. The girl in the mirror had changed. As Nickel steps back in horror, her face slowly lifts. Her eyes are completely pitch black, blood is dripping from her mouth, and she smiles, asking, "Do you recognize me now?" Nickel is trembling, begging to know who she is, and then she shatters the physical barrier between worlds. She stretches a non-human arm, characterized by long black fingers and ice-cold skin, completely out of the glass. Nickel just screams and falls backward.
The truth about Meghana, a watchman's secret.
Confronting the watchman the next morning, Nihil finally learns the horrific history of his apartment. The watchman reveals the dark backstory of a former tenant named Meghana. She lived in that exact apartment 3 years ago and tragically died in that very bathroom. But the real kicker is the time of death, exactly 2:13 a.m. The police officially ruled it a suicide, but as the watchman ominously stated, nobody knows the truth. This neatly and terrifyingly aligns the apartment's tragic history with the exact recurring time of Nihil's supernatural experiences.
Armed with this horrific truth, Nikhil makes the only logical choice: pack up and get out forever that very night. But while he's urgently shoving things into bags, he hears this soft humming coming from the bathroom, a woman singing. The bathroom light switches on all by itself, and a chilling new message appears on the illuminated mirror. This time you can't leave.
Step 1. Pack bags. Step 2. Try the main door. Step 3. No reflection. Nichols' desperate escape attempt fails at absolutely every turn. First, as he packs his bags, the lights go out abruptly, and the door is slammed shut with a massive bang. Second, he rushes to the main door, but it is jammed completely solid. It simply won't budge. He is physically trapped, which leads to a final, horrifying realization.
Standing there at the jammed main door, totally plunged in darkness, the haunting actually breaks from the confines of the bathroom. Nichols suddenly feels icy breath right on his neck. A girl softly whispers into his ear, "Why did you leave me alone?" But when Nichols slowly, terrified, turns around, the room is completely empty.
Looking back into the glass, the absolute horrifying climax of this nightmare is revealed. His own reflection is completely gone, erased. In its place, replacing him entirely, stands the smiling girl. Only the girl remains inside the mirror now, trapping him on the other side of the glass.
And that brings us full circle right back to the very next morning, when the police broke open the apartment door to find an empty room, a missing tenant, and that bloody message on the glass. As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a thought. Would you ignore a serious warning just to save on rent? It really leaves us questioning human nature, logic, and exactly what we are willing to risk when a deal seems just a little too good to be true. Keep that in mind the next time you're apartment hunting.
Like, share and subscribe for more videos.